Breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
We're following breaking news in Raleigh, where two shooting investigations are happening right now, about 10 minutes away from each other. This is a live look from both of those scenes. We'll tell you what we know about injuries.
And waking up to a bit of cloud cover this morning. And late this afternoon, we'll have a small chance for scattered storms. I'll show you how the rest of the week looks in terms of our chances for rain. Plans for more upgrades at the Lenovo Center. The vote happening today about the creation of an entertainment district around the newly renamed arena. Yes, the name change is the first step in a series of changes for that area of Northwest Raleigh. Good morning, everyone. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Jeff Hogan. Yeah, happy Monday. There are some fun plans in place for that area. Elizabeth Gardner, meantime, in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. First full day of fall for us here.
Yes, and still feeling a little bit like summer. We'll take a live look at Durham this morning, and you can see some cloud cover here. We have the potential for just a few isolated showers or thunderstorms today, but that chance goes up a bit tomorrow as a cold front comes in. It's warm and muggy out there this morning, 70 degrees. Our dew point at 66. I mean, it's not as muggy as it would be, if it were July, but still, you can feel that moisture in the atmosphere as you step out this morning. 71 in Fayetteville, 65 Goldsboro, 64 in Roxborough, 70 in Southern Pines. So it's a warm start, and we take a look at Futurecast this morning, and you can see some cloud cover to begin with. By the afternoon, we should see a few holes in the clouds, and then just a very small chance of a shower or thunderstorm today. Most of that's going to be late tonight, as you can see that start to approach us closer to midnight or so. So much of the day today should stay nice and dry. We'll be in the 60s this morning, and we'll see high of around 81 degrees this afternoon. We're watching the tropics closely. We started talking about this system last week, and now there's a 90% chance that we see a system developing in the Caribbean and aiming toward the Gulf Coast of the United States. I'll show you the computer model plots coming up.
Breaking news we're following this morning. A man is injured after a shooting in Raleigh. It happened early this morning at the Walnut Ridge Apartments on White Sock Lane. WRAL's Laura Levine is there at that scene right now. Laura, what can you tell us?
Jeff, within the past few minutes, I've learned that investigators have two possible suspect vehicles that they're looking at. You can see this crime scene playing out here at Walnut Ridge Apartments. Dozens of RPD vehicles surrounding this apartment building in particular. Now, if we take a look at some of this video we shot about half an hour ago, this is one of the suspect vehicles that they're looking at, a white Cadillac. You can see it surrounded in that crime scene tape. We've also seen some evidence markers around this area. RPD police confirming that one man was shot and taken to the hospital with serious injuries. They are still looking for the person responsible. The big question this morning is what exactly led up to the shooting, and what more can police tell us about the suspects involved in this case? Again, they're still looking for that person. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Raleigh police are also at a nearby scene about 3.5 miles north. This one is on Bertie Drive. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from the scene. And Kelsey, we know a man was shot and injured there.
Renee, that man was taken to the hospital with serious injuries, and we'll set the scene here for you right now. So this scene here is about 10 minutes away from where you just saw Laura reporting. Crime scene tape surrounds this area near a roundabout on Bertie Drive. 5 Raleigh police cars are parked in this area. CCBI is also here investigating. So we've reached out to Raleigh police for more information about a shooter. We'll be sure to stay on top of this and keep you updated. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
New this morning, we have learned the name of a man who was shot and killed on Edge Hill Road in Fayetteville. Police say 18-year-old A.J. Whidbey died in that shooting just before 11 o'clock Saturday night. Another man who was also shot was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. A WRAL breaking news tracker was there as police investigated at home and as well as in front of a nearby shopping center on Skybow Road. Investigators are still working to find the shooter.
Today, the group that owns the Lenovo Center takes the next step toward creating an entertainment district around it. The Centennial Authority meets today to vote on putting in a formal application for rezoning around the area. It needs to get approval from local officials for the plan. The proposal includes a 150-room hotel and 500 apartments, as well as shops and restaurants. They hope to break ground at the end of 2025. Today, we'll get an update on the state's absentee ballots. State Board of Elections Chair Karen Brinson Bell plans to address questions at 10:30 this morning.
WRAL will be there. Counties already sent ballots to eligible military and overseas voters Friday. Absentee ballots will be for everyone else who requested one, will go out starting tomorrow. That process was delayed because of a court ruling required that Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s name be removed from the ballots.
Several top staffers and fundraisers for Republican candidate for Governor Mark Robinson have quit. Robinson spokesman Mike Lonergan announced the sitting lieutenant governor's campaign manager and deputy campaign manager both stepped down from those roles. So did his campaign's senior advisor and finance director. Robinson is facing increased pressure and skepticism from members of his party after a recent report by CNN. The report says he made lewd, racist, and pro-Hitler comments on a pornographic website's messaging board. Robinson has denied what's in the report.
This morning, investigators in Birmingham, Alabama, are searching for the people responsible for what police describe as a possible murder-for-hire plot that led to a mass shooting. 4 people died. Last night, police released the names of 3 of them. They are 21-year-old Anitra Holloman, 27-year-old Taj Booker, and 27-year-old Carlos McCain. The 4th victim, a man, has not yet been identified. 17 others were injured Saturday night during the shooting outside a hookah lounge. Police believe the attack was targeted and say the shooters left the scene in a vehicle.
There's heartache at UNC after a student who was reported missing in South Africa has been found dead. News sources in South Africa say 20-year-old Brooke Chevrant was found dead yesterday, about 26 hours after she was last seen on a solo hike near Cape Town. She was about a month into a study abroad program. At UNC, she worked at the Moorhead Planetarium. Director Todd Boyette spoke with us about the last time she visited there.
She was talking about how excited she was, maybe a little nervous about traveling to South Africa, but also how we would miss her and she'd miss us.
South African police say an autopsy will determine how Chevrant died.
Your time is 4:37 here in the WRAL Live Center. I'm just getting off the phone with Durham Fire Department to get more information regarding a vehicle that crashed into what appears to be some sort of townhome or apartment complex. Look at this map here. This is where this happened on Junction Road. And this specific building, when you put it into Google Maps, is what comes up in there. We're trying to get more specifics if anyone was actually injured with this. I did ask the person who answered the phone at the Durham Fire Department if they learned of any injuries or if they know anything more with it. But at this time, they were unable to get that. They tell us that we need to refer to a different fire station's battalion chief to get more specifics. So I'm going to try to keep reaching out to that person to get more information regarding what led to this vehicle crashing into the building and to learn if anyone was injured.
Chris, thank you. Americans in Lebanon are being told to get out of the country now as both Israel and Hezbollah ramp up deadly attacks against each other. Hundreds of Israeli strikes hit southern Lebanon yesterday. According to the Israeli military, Hezbollah launched some 150 rockets, cruise missiles, and drones, landing deeper into Israel than at any point since October 7th. The State Department is now telling American citizens to leave Lebanon while there are still ways to leave. Israel says the strikes will continue until their goals are met. In a separate development, Israeli soldiers shut down Al Jazeera's bureau in the West Bank yesterday. That move is being condemned by several journalist organizations.
A man accused of speeding and drunk driving in a crash that killed a Duke University employee is expected in court today. Greg Coley is scheduled to appear before a judge this morning in Durham. He's facing charges including felony death by vehicle after a crash killed 26-year-old Daniel Watt in 2021. Watt was riding in the back of a Lyft rideshare on the Durham freeway. Troopers say a drunk driver, going 143 miles per hour, hit the back of the car, killing Watt. A Durham County judge shut down a plea deal last year that would have reduced the charges against Coley.
The Kansas City Chiefs are still perfect for the 2024 season. They took down the Atlanta Falcons in a close game last night on Sunday Night Football. The Falcons had a chance to get ahead late in the fourth quarter, but the Chiefs' defense stuffed them on a 4th and inches play inside the 20-yard line. The Chiefs hold on for a 22-17 win.
Help is on the way for 2 astronauts stranded in space. How a SpaceX mission plans to bring the 2 back to Earth.
And a bull is on the loose in Massachusetts this morning. We'll show you the moment it escaped from a rodeo.
Also, we have this live look for you in Clinton. Good morning to you. A hurricane is likely to develop in the Gulf this week. We're breaking down the latest data and what it means for you.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
It's 4:43 on a quiet morning out there. We are looking at some cloud cover in places and some fairly warm temperatures. It's 64 in Wilson, but 70 in Durham right now, where the skies are cloudy. It's 71 in Fayetteville. So it feels a little bit like summer as you're stepping out the door. We have a minimal chance for showers and thunderstorms for today, but we are looking at that chance increasing as we get through the week. So if you're looking for a day to get outside and exercise, not terrible this morning. Temperatures are in the mid 60s. It's just a little bit on the humid side. We'll see highs in the low 80s this afternoon under mostly cloudy skies. Late this evening, a chance of a thunderstorm pops on up. We're going to see a cold front approaching and stalling over us, and that's going to bump up our chance for showers and thunderstorms as we get through the week. Also watching the tropics, so we'll talk more about when a Gulf system could form coming up.
A pilot was killed during a mid-air collision involving two small planes over Los Angeles County. Authorities say the planes collided early Sunday afternoon when they were over a remote area near Lancaster. It's about an hour outside L.A. One plane crashed. The other managed to stay on a road nearby. The FAA says only the pilots were on board both aircraft. There's no word on the condition of the pilot who survived.
Durham police are investigating what they're calling a suspicious death. Officers responded to a call shortly after 4 yesterday morning and found a man dead at East Markham Avenue. That road was closed for hours from North Roxborough Street to Vista Street while crews investigated. We do not yet know the man's name or cause of death.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is touring the U.S. to try to solidify the partnership between the countries. Zelensky visited a manufacturing plant in Pennsylvania Sunday. The plant makes artillery shells for Ukraine. Zelensky says he reached agreements to expand cooperation between his country and the Pennsylvania plant. Later this week, Zelensky is expected to speak at the UN General Assembly in New York. He also plans to visit Washington to meet with President Joe Biden and other officials.
Congressional leaders have a deal on a short-term spending bill that will fund federal agencies for about 3 months. The agreement averts a possible partial government shutdown when the new budget year begins October 1st. It pushes final decisions until after the November election. Bipartisan negotiations began shortly after a failed vote last week in the House.
After being stuck on the International Space Station for months, help is on the way for Boeing Starliner astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams. NASA astronaut Nick Hague and Russian cosmonaut Alexander Gorbunov arrived at Kennedy Space Center over the weekend, and the two make up the SpaceX Crew 9 team. They're scheduled to take off as early as this Thursday for the International Space Station. They hope to give Wilmore and Williams a ride home in February after their 5-month mission is finished.
Today, we'll get an update on efforts to combat the opioid epidemic in Wake County. The County Board of Commissioners Public Safety Committee will examine the use of naloxone by EMS, as well as other county programs and treatment methods. Their meeting gets started at 12:30 this afternoon.
California has taken another big step towards protecting the environment. Governor Gavin Newsom signed a new law that bans all plastic shopping bags at grocery stores. The state already has banned thin plastic shopping bags at supermarkets and other stores, but shoppers could buy bags made with a thicker plastic that were recyclable. The new law will ban all plastic bags starting in 2026.
A Raleigh-based researcher says hundreds of baby food products make false claims about how healthy they are.
I do understand as a mom that we really struggle to find time a lot of the time to make these healthier choices, or to, we don't have the time to sit in a grocery store and look at every single product's nutrition label. And often we're swayed by some of these claims on packs.
She talked with 5 on Your Side about why squeeze pouches and baby foods may not be as healthy as they seem. That's tonight at 6 on WRAL.
A bull escaped a rodeo in Massachusetts and remains on the loose. Looks like a whole herd got out there. Authorities say 8 of them got loose from the rodeo, which was happening at a mall about 50 miles south of Boston. Crews were able to safely corral 7 of those 8 bulls. Still looking for that last one. There are no reported injuries out of all this.
Cards Against Humanity is suing Elon Musk. The company, known for its adult party game, bought land in Brownsville, Texas, near the U.S. and Mexican border in 2017. It was to protect the area from the government possibly building a border wall there. And it is accusing Musk of allowing his SpaceX employees to trespass and damage the land. The company is suing Musk for $15 million. So far, no comment from Musk.
The group World Mission Society Church of God hosted a community park beautification yesterday with the mayor and city of Fayetteville. Fayetteville chapter of the group joined tens of other clubs there along the East Coast, tackling the sustainable development goals of the United Nations. The work was done at Woodrow Park on Wilson Street.
Skaters in Southern Pines will soon have a new skate park. Town leaders are holding a groundbreaking for the new skate park at Memorial Park this morning. People who go are encouraged to donate to help the town reach its $60,000 goal to complete the project. The park is scheduled to open in December. Today's event starts at 10 a.m. It is 4:48, and we are now officially in fall, although it doesn't feel like it. It certainly was very warm over the weekend. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, and this will kind of stay the course this week.
It will. We're going to cool off a little bit as we get a better chance for rain, but we're not looking at, that crisp, cool, clear fall weather anytime this week. It's going to be warm and humid to begin with. We'll see our storm chances increasing by the middle of the week as we see a cold front that moves in and stalls, and that'll be a focusing mechanism for some showers and thunderstorms. And then we'll be watching that next tropical system. We started talking about this last week. This is a system that has not formed yet, but likely to form down in the Gulf of Mexico. And the question is, will we see any rain from that by the end of the week? We'll talk about those different scenarios coming up. It's a great start here in Durham this morning. So we take a look at downtown, 70 degrees the temperature, and our dew point at 66. So that feels fairly summer-like. Here's our front, that front up to the north and west, producing some showers and thunderstorms ahead of it across West Virginia, and in the mountains of North Carolina. But it stays to the west of us during the day today. We don't really start to see any rain until overnight tonight and into the day tomorrow. Here's a look at Futurecast this morning, and you can see some cloud cover. There will be a few peaks of sunshine on and off this afternoon. There's 5 o'clock, but we'll see a mix of sun and clouds, and then we start to see some of that rain moving in overnight. Our rain chances today just 20%, but 60 on Tuesday and Wednesday, 30 Thursday, and 70 Friday. And Friday, we'd be talking potentially about that tropical system that may develop. You can see it would potentially develop down here in the Caribbean and possibly make landfall here along the coast of Florida. And the big question is any of that coming here? Well, right now, it looks like no, that it may take a big turn to the left and move into the central part of the country and not across our area. So we'll be watching that. A lot can happen between now and this next coming weekend. 81 in Raleigh, 80 in Durham, and 85 in Fayetteville for our highs today. And boy, our humidity stays on the high side really all week long. We just don't get much of a break. So not feeling a whole lot like fall just yet. Home opener for the Hurricanes is Friday, and it does look like we'd have a chance for rain. So if you're hoping to tailgate on Friday, keep checking back with us. We also have a chance of some scattered storms into the weekend with highs in the 70s.
Thanks, Elizabeth. All right, take a moment to check your milk before eating breakfast this morning. The Lactaid recall that's been issued to protect people with nut allergies.
Plus, your neighborhood movie theater is getting a makeover. The billion-dollar plan to revamp theaters across the nation.
Some milk products are coming off the shelves. Lactaid announced a voluntary recall for some of its non-dairy milk. The company says it may contain traces of almonds, which could be deadly for those allergic. The recall includes 96-ounce containers of whole, 1% and 2%, as well as fat-free milks. It was sold in 27 states, including North Carolina. The milk was distributed from September 5th to September 18th. No reports of injuries have been reported. People are asked to return the milk for a store refund.
The Carolina Hurricanes Foundation hosted the 11th annual Canes 5K over the weekend. Participants gathered at what is now the Lenovo Center yesterday morning to run around the arena and the surrounding area. There were also kids' dashes, inflatables, appearances from current and former Canes, team staff, and of course, stormy. The Carolina Hurricanes Foundation provides grants for local nonprofits that help meet the health and educational needs of children with the focus of underserved populations and to strengthen youth hockey in the community.
Big upgrades are coming to some of your favorite movie theaters. The country's 8 largest theater chains are putting more than $2 billion into improvements. That includes new projection technology, better seating, and better food. Arcades and bowling alleys may soon be coming to many theaters as well. About 70% of theaters across the country are part of the renovation plan.
A bear severely burned during a wildfire in Nevada is receiving additional care. Workers with the Nevada Department of Wildfire found the 25-year-old bear last Wednesday. He suffered burns to its paws and face from the fire. The department provided some initial care and has since moved the bear to a wildlife sanctuary in the northern part of the state. They nicknamed it Nugget, and Nugget will undergo treatment and rehab during his stay.
An investigation is underway right now in Raleigh. This is a live look at the scene where police say a man was shot.
Today, some students at Appalachia High School in Georgia will return to school for the first time since the mass shooting there earlier this month. How people from across the country are showing their support.
Also a big night for the WNBA's biggest stars. The awards both Asia Wilson and Caitlin Clark received after a record-breaking season.